Metallica, here they come, the kings of metal.
So fucking what?
Hey, this is Michael Wagner, and you're listening to Metal Up Your Podcast.
Welcome to Metal Up Your Podcast. I'm Ethan Luck.
And I'm Clint Wells.
This is episode 133. We're going to go explore the Big Four a little bit more and listen to Slayer's Repentless.
Right. There's two reasons for this. By the way, First of all, welcome to the show. We're an all-Metallica podcast. We're not going to be talking about Metallica again this week. We're going to be listening to Slayer's Repentless for two reasons. Number one, the last of my summer insanity just ended.
Yeah,
I got home last night.
Congratulations.
And I have a normal week this week. And so it's been crazy, too. My kid turns 5 tomorrow. She started kindergarten today.
It's an emotional morning.
It's been a tough week for me to do a bunch of robust research on whatever the gear they used at the Freeze 'Em All gig in Antarctica in 2013.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons we're doing this Explore the Big Four series, which, by the way, if you're new to the show, Explore the Big Fours, Ethan and I listen through the whole catalog of the Big Four. We sort of cycle through Anthrax, Soundgarden, Anthrax, Slayer, and Megadeth.
Savage Garden.
And yeah, I can't. Well, Lovely, Madly, Tenderly. What was that song? Lovely, Madly, Deeply.
So,
I wanna kill you. You remember that song?
Yeah, it's dare I say, savage.
That
savage
comes from an Anne Rice novel.
Savage Garden?
Yeah,
okay.
It comes from The Vampire Lestat.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you ever read those.
I have not.
I mean, they're well known. Anne Rice, Interview with the Vampire, of course, Brad Pitt and Leo. And Tom Cruise. I said Brad Pitt and Leo because I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I've heard it's awesome.
For the second time.
Really?
It's fucking wonderful. I'm super scattered today, sorry. But anyway, we're going to do Repentless. We also got a lot of feedback, mostly positive, on the Rust in Peace episode.
Yeah.
And several people mentioned, why don't we cycle through the bands of the Big Four, their latest albums.
Most current albums, yeah.
So that we can kind of see what they're up to.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fun thing to do. I mean, Anthrax released a record called For All Kings last year, I believe. And it's a good record. It's the first one with Joey Belladonna in a long time. Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to do.
And of course, Megadeth's last record, Dystopia, won a Grammy.
It did, yeah. I was listening to that after we did Rust in Peace last week when I drove home from HQ2. I figured I'd put that on just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good record. I feel like in the world of Dave's voice, I think you might enjoy that a little more because it's not as like... His range isn't as high as it used to be, and it's a little more on the low end. But there's some...
Well, and hopefully he learned how to write some songs.
We'll see. The riffs are kick-ass. We know that.
It's interesting because Megadeth is super well-beloved by many. There's the crossover, the Venn diagram of Metallica fans and Megadeth fans is probably the largest of any of the Big Four. And a lot of people didn't agree with my analysis. A lot of people did agree with it. What was encouraging to me is that mostly... the people who even disagree with me kind of got where I was coming from about it.
Well, again, I mean, you know, just because you are a fan of heavy metal music and we do a Metallica podcast doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like everything that is heavy metal. And, you know, and Megadeth is kind of a tough pill to swallow for some people, and a lot of it has to do with Dave's vocals.
I'm convinced, and I've touted this theory out. Of course, every theory, every sort of esoteric philosophical theory has an exception. But I think in general, and look, I'll put myself on the line too. This is how it is with me and Kiss.
Yeah.
It is very hard to get an adult into Kiss because you have to have been a kid. Mm-hmm. And my theory is that most of you Megadeth people out there, your connection to it has a lot to do with how old you were when you got into it.
That's how it is for me.
And that's where the power lies. And some knucklehead like me that wants to criticize Dave's lyrics or whatever will never put a dent in that ever. And I appreciate that. That's how I feel about a lot of stupid fucking bands.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I got into Megadeth when I was in 7th grade.
Yeah,
so it was a big deal back then, you know?
Right. And of course, I said this on Instagram Live the other day, and and I say this affectionately, but some nerd was like, "I got into them just several years ago, and I like it." It's like, okay, great, you're the genius exception, all the rules. That's fine.
It's gonna happen, yeah, sure.
But there's someone out there that's gonna hear Deuce for the first time and be like, "Wow, this rocks. This is cool. What is this, Kiss?"
Right.
But for the most part, if you're trying to play Kiss for your friends, it's hard to It's hard to land it.
Yeah, it really is.
Because there's a silliness to it that you don't think about when you're a kid. Because when you're a kid, everything's magic and everything's silly.
You don't want to play an adult Beth first.
And, yeah.
Or maybe you do.
Well, I'm in too deep. I don't even know what to play people first.
Yeah, that is a tough thing when you get really deep into a band, like a lifelong love of a certain artist, and someone's like, "Hey, I'd love to get into that and check it out. What should I start with?" You're like,
I know. Let's say the movie Yesterday is real, but it's Metallica. For those of you who don't know, there's a movie in the theaters now called Yesterday, where the premise is a dude wakes up and everyone in the world doesn't know who the Beatles are.
Right, except for him.
So, and whatever, we'll augment that theory. Like, Metallica exists, but someone somehow has never heard them.
Yeah.
And let's say they're our age and they're smart and they like good music. What do you play for them?
I mean, do you ease them in with the Black Album, like where they kind of change and slow down a little bit?
Probably.
Or like a Load or Reload? I don't know. I mean, I imagine if someone has never heard Metallica and they're like, in their 30s or 40s, I don't know if you would start. I wouldn't start with Kill 'Em All.
Hell no.
I feel like that'd be a turn off.
No. I think Sabbath True. I think you start off with Sabbath True.
I think 90s era, but most likely the Black Album stuff. Sabbath True would be great. Or Rome or something.
It's interesting, too, and it's interesting to think about the big four bands because everyone has kind of sits in a different place. I'm a little bit more of a Slayer guy than you are. You're more of an Anthrax and Megadeth guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure we have a lot of wonderful listeners out there that love the shit out of all these bands that are going to be well steeped in all this stuff. But we're just the series is called Explore the Big Four, and that's all we're doing is we're just checking it out.
Yeah, and we're coming up with our own educated opinions on how we feel about certain things. So I'm kind of in your shoes on this record. Mm-hmm. I've never heard this Slayer record.
Yeah, I bought it when it came out. I was pretty excited about it.
Slayer is one of those bands, I would say, of the big four, they're number 4 for me.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, everybody. I mean, for me, it's Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, in that order. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to listen to this Slayer record because I've literally never heard it before.
Yeah.
They're just not a band that I went and saw them live. Me and Jack O'Shea saw them a couple years ago here in Nashville, and it was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Testament actually stole the show. But yeah, it'll be fun to sit back and listen to. This is probably the earliest in the morning I've ever listened to a Slayer record. I can tell you that.
Well, that's thanks to Ethan for coming over to HQ too early. It is 9:15 in the morning.
It's all right.
Because of course the first day of kindergarten it's a damn half day, so I got to go grab her. And then later on today I'm going to be talking to our friend Tom Quee over in Alpha Metallica.
Yeah, what song you doing?
I'm defending Thorn Within.
Ooh, he's getting down to the wire here in the tease.
He's almost done. Yeah.
Yeah. I got to hit him up and get on another one of those.
He wants, I think he's trying to get a hold of you because he wants to do another. I think there's one in particular he wants to do with you, maybe Unforgiven.
Ooh,
he wants to save for you.
Oh, I'm down.
He's saving himself and the Unforgiven for you. Oh. For those who don't know, our friend Tom Quee over at Alpha Metallica, he has a wonderful Metallica podcast in which he goes through every song in their catalog alphabetically with a guest on the show, and I've listened to every one of them. I think he's doing good work over there.
He's done a great job over there. Yeah, they're not crazy long either. Maybe 20, 30 minutes. So you can get through a lot of them in a short amount of time.
It's mostly him just saying hello.
Hello.
Hi and hello, welcome and hello and hi and
Sabbath
greetings.
True.
Yes, and we'll be talking later after I greet you 17 more times. Hello and hi and hi and hello. The other Metallica podcasts are wonderful too. Ryan Downey over at Speak and Destroy, who often interviews big time celebrities.
Yeah, he's got some good. He just had Billy Duffy from the Cult on an episode. Yeah. He's going to be in town in September.
Oh boy.
Yeah, maybe we could do a little crossover or something.
Aww. We also got our friends over at Metallichat and Metallicast that are doing good work over there talking about Metallica. Lots of different flavors for you nerds out there who can't get enough Metallica talk. We're going to do some housekeeping before we listen to Slayer.
Whee!
My phone blew up for sure when this news story hit that apparently this hitchhiking chick in Canada was being followed by wolves and I think
it was a cougar.
A cougar? And to scare them away, she played none other than Don't Tread on Me. Right? Yeah. That's the song she played?
Or a wolf and man.
A hiker in Canada was approached by a cougar. She blasted Metallica, scared off. That's the headline. 45-year-old Dee Gallant on a hike in South Duncan with her dog Murphy.
Oh, Murphy.
On July 23rd. She said she was only a few miles into the woods when she turned around and realized that they had company. They were being stalked by a cougar. That's scary, dude. That's why I don't go in the woods. My wife just went to Banff with her mom for a little vacay, and they came back with all these pictures of, like, what appears to be fairly close proximity to bears.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Don't fuck with bears.
I love going to the woods. I love going to a cabin for a weekend and stuff like that. But you know, got to respect what lives there.
Well, here's the deal, dude. We live on the planet, and we're not the only animals here.
Correct.
And we're not going to be the last animals here. By the way, sorry.
Correct.
I don't know if anyone's looked around the last few days with. We're just apparently going to shoot us all to death.
Yeah.
But, this cougar is a fucking wild animal. I love this.
Yeah.
At first, she was intrigued. She'd never seen one that close before. Oh.
Pleases me to see the cougar approach
Pleases me to see your flesh ripped from the bone. It says, but then she realized that the animal was approaching her. She yelled and the cougar stopped moving, but it didn't retreat. She tried waving her arms and yelling at the cat, we're going to call it a cat now, saying things like, bad kitty, and get out of here.
Bad kitty.
Jesus Christ. That is until, but the cougar stood its ground. That is until Gallant opened her phone and chose the loudest band she could think of, the song Don't Tread on Me.
By Metallica.
You said it was a wolf and man.
I thought a wolf and man,
you
yeah.
silly goose. It's a cougar, not a wolf.
Her dog looks like a wolf.
It was both a warning and an appeal. And that apparently was what did it. The cougar scurried off after the first few notes. The combination of heavy drums and James Hetfield's vocals apparently too much to handle. Ooh.
Don't tread on me. It might have been Jason's BGVs. Who knows?
The incident lasted a total of 5 minutes, but Gallant said she wasn't scared. See, that's the problem. If a cougar's up on your ass, you should be scared.
I'd be frightened.
It's like these people that like hang over the railings at zoos.
Or, I mean, especially because the photo of her, she has her what looks like a husky of some kind, a sled dog. That would terrify me too, because I know that cougar probably wants to come after my dog and not me.
She goes, I actually thought it was really cool that I got to see a cougar for so long. You're lucky that thing didn't bite your fucking face off.
I think it's cool to see cougars. I don't know if I would think it was cool to be like 10 feet from one.
I think it's cool to see cougars in the club. You know what I'm talking about when I say cougar?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Anyway, well, it's an interesting fact that she just pulled out her phone and out of all fucking songs she played, Don't Tread on Me.
Good for her, man. Hey, now for all you campers out there, take note. I mean, I probably would have gone with like Battery or something, but Don't Tread on Me, maybe lyrically, that's what helped.
I also think that maybe she was going to try to work in a little bit of Harry Potter mythology and use her phone playing Don't Tread on Me as a sort of Patronus charm and shoot a coiled snake at the cougar.
Yeah, that would have been bitchin'.
That would have been my flow chart on that.
Right, yeah.
Which makes sense, right?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay, well, go leave the positive review on iTunes if you like the show, if you've ever warded off a dangerous carnivorous animal with Metallica and you were listening to us because it connects you to that event. Go leave us a positive iTunes review. If you really like the show, go over to Patreon. Cover Our World Blackened Volume 3 is out.
It is there on Patreon.
All the patrons have it.
Getting some good feedback on it. Thank you guys, by the way.
If you sign up, you'll also get Volumes 1 and 2. You'll get Lunar Satan shit. You get bonus Ethan Luck content. We try to do special shit for the patrons all the time.
Right.
We gave away S&M 2 tickets. We're giving away... Today, let's just give away a bunch of shit in my garage. Or not today, but this month.
This month, yeah.
Let's give away like 7 or 8 things.
Fan cans and all that stuff.
We have just a ton of stuff in there.
There's a ton of stuff. It's a Metallica storage unit in Clint's garage now.
So that's patreon.com/metalupyourpodcast. You're going to hear a commercial about that later. We'll move on, though. We're on the socials. Ethan, tell them about the socials. Good God.
Oh, my gosh. Have you heard of Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube? We're on Stitcher. If you're on any kind of social media whatsoever and you type in Metal Up Your Podcast,
go to the place.
You'll find us.
Go to the place that you most like to argue with your Uncle Ned about gun control.
Okay, that's going to be Facebook. Yeah, we're on there then.
Anyway, we do all sorts of fun interactive stuff over there. Just the other day, I was bored in my hotel room, did an Instagram live, listening to Soundgarden with about 20 listeners, and
yeah,
it was fun. If you really want to get a hold of us, the most direct way, I should say, to get a hold of us is our email address, metalupyourpodcastshow@gmail.com. We like to read a handful of these just to take the pulse of the community. We love the Metal Up Your Podcast family. We love hearing from them. Things got cut so close this week that I literally don't know what these say.
Just a quick copy and paste, and let's read them.
Let's take a quick surprise journey over to what we like to call the email corner.
First email is from Sasha Mittelman. She says, "Hey guys, I wish you had women's specific T-shirts. I would love to buy a shirt to rock at the night in between the party in San Francisco, but I'm so over trying to make dude shirts work. Tell me about it. Thank you for your helpful analysis and commentary on the ticket resale debacle. Best, Sasha."
Well, I think we specifically are using unisex shirts.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. I mean, my wife actually likes to buy guys' shirts, and then she'll like cut them and stuff, like cut the neck up part of it a little bit. So I don't know, maybe get one of our smalls or something, and flare it up or whatever I don't know what you call that.
And I think that's what it's called, maybe.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm coughing. I'm like 6 weeks into a cold now because I've been living on a bus and breathing farts and snores forever.
It's exactly what a bus is, and
so horrible.
It can be, yeah. If someone farts in the bunk area, it's awful.
Everyone's farting in the bunk area.
Everyone is.
What are they going to do? They're all going to get up and go stand in the restroom for 30 seconds?
But like, there's some people that just have notoriously wretched.
No, you got to be cool
gas.
about it. Yeah, you got to be cool.
I mean, I don't know. If you ever walk through the bunk area and see someone's curtain like fanning, you know exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get that smell out of their bunk.
And into yours.
Yep.
From my bunk to yours. Anyway, Sasha, I would, well, I don't know. What can I say? A lot of ladies have bought our shirt, and I don't think they've had a problem.
Yeah.
We've got the OG logo and the Dagger logo in stock in my garage currently. So you can go to metalupyourpodcast.com, which we failed to mention, by the way. That's our website where you can buy all of our merch and listen to other podcasts we've been on. Like, for example, the Alpha Metallica podcast I'm going to be on later with Tom. Whenever that comes out, we sort of keep all of those at our website.
That's right.
So I don't know what to say, Sasha. The next campaign is going to be a Lunar Satan t-shirt campaign. So you probably, I don't know if you want to wear that to SNM2 or not. And I don't even know if it'll be ready in time. This was a horrible answer to that email. We basically said, we cannot help you.
Sorry, we can't help you. Speak to the manager.
Chris Porter, who's a new patron, right? By the way, new patron this week, Chris Porter.
Chris Porter. And happy birthday, James Hetfield, last week.
Also, happy 56th
years
birthday.
old. Awesome.
Wow. Looking good. Some people aren't liking the hair and the mustache. I think it makes him look older. I think he looks awesome.
I agree that it makes him look a bit older, but I still think he looks badass.
He's looking more and more like the Cowardly Lion, although I'm not calling him cowardly.
No, he's in. It's his 50s version of kind of his 90s look.
I agree. That is what it is.
It's a bit of a throwback to like Black Album era, like the Fu Manchu mustache.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it.
I like it too. Well, anyway, thanks for being a patron, Chris. We really appreciate that. Here's what Chris has to say. Hey, Clint and Ethan, finally I'm able to support you guys financially on Patreon. I feel like I've been gaining a lot out of your show off the backs of everyone else, and it's fitting that I'm now able to contribute towards the Metal Up Your Podcast family. Well, isn't that nice? I know everyone says it, so I hope it doesn't lose its meaning. But you guys really do put a lot of yourselves into what you've created, and I know the toll that can accompany you when you continually put 110% effort into everything you do, be it on the family front or professionally, etc. I heard you're both going on holiday soon, so take a page from the boys' book and separate yourself from the machine that is Metallica, from the podcast and anything else that can take your focus away from what's really important, your health and your family. Come back revitalized and eager to get back into all that you do. Much love and respect for all you've done for us Metallica nerds who were looking for somewhere to belong. Thanks, Chris.
That's a great idea. So we'll see you later. This has been the episode. Peace. Adios.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna front load it a little bit, so we'll have content on those Mondays.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna definitely not be taking a part of any Metal Up Your Podcast stuff while I'm in Japan.
No, it'll be I mean, while you're in Japan, like I'll be around, and if people have questions or things like that. But then our vacations overlap by I think like a day or two, and then once I go, it'll be the same thing. So
I think we're just gonna have a couple of radio episodes ready to rock.
Yeah, but there will be content. We're just going to kind of pre-record it, so we don't have to worry about it while we're gone.
I do appreciate the TLC he put into that email.
Yeah,
and I would say that's pretty true with many of our listeners. They understand, I think, what it takes to do the show. I think they're grateful for the show. So anyway, it's always nice to hear that stuff, though. So
I'm grateful for the show.
I'm grateful for you.
Aw. On this very special kindergarten day.
On the day my kid goes to kindergarten.
It's all about your kid, and you gave me that nice compliment.
On the day before her 5th birthday and on the day she starts kindergarten, what I'm most thankful for is you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. It really touches my heart.
You're welcome. You're welcome, bro.
Next email is from Clint Wells to Ethan Luck.
Dear Diary.
Dear Diary. It's from Steve Ballas, I think you say his last name. Mm-hmm. Let's say that's correct. What's up, brothers? Last episode was good, and Dave sucks shit.
Oh, boy. I guess he agrees with me.
Okay. Rust in Peace is shit. Megadeth is shit. Megadeth is no comparison to Metallica, not even close. I rate them negative 10 out of 10, just plain horrible. I do feel bad that he's going through cancer. I just lost my mom this May due to lung cancer, and Metallica soothes the pain. Mama Said was our song at my wedding. Ethan, you have to listen to the Stone Cold podcast with Hulk Hogan. He teases a movie starring Chris Hemsworth as Hogan. Sounds great to me.
That actually would be pretty good.
I've heard rumors about that. Some like Hulk Hogan biopic or something.
Wow. Is the world... Okay, 2 questions. Is the world asking for one of those? Number 1. Number 2, is the world ready for one of those?
Number 3, will you go with me?
Yes, of course.
Midnight opening night. He says, anyways, keep up the great work. Love the podcast, love Metallica, love every episode you guys do. Clint and Ethan, you guys rock. And if you're ever in near London, Ontario, Canada, please get a hold of me. We can shoot the breeze and drink some beers. Thank you, Steve. Regarding your first paragraph, I'm going to disagree. I think there's some Megadeth stuff I don't like. Of course, I don't like all their records. But this is the beauty of music and forming your own opinion. If you think they suck shit, you can think they suck shit. That's totally fine. I personally don't think that. I think they're great musicians. I don't love Dave's lyrics, but I think in the metal world, I think they've written some of the coolest riffs and parts, of that era.
Right. And obviously this guy takes a harder line than me. I never said anything like that.
Yeah, and that's again, everyone who's maybe was not on the ride with us on that episode or disagreed with a lot of what me or Clint said. Like, you can think that Steve thinks it's okay,
but that's just such common sense. It's even like stupid to say.
It sucks that that I even bring it up. I think it's like,
of course,
like if
the whole spectrum is beautiful. He thinks Rust in Peace is stupid bullshit. You think it's great,
right?
Some guy wrote and said he thinks it's the greatest record ever made, which is insane. But that's hilarious and awesome.
You clearly haven't heard Savage Garden.
Clearly haven't heard many records at all. I mean, Jesus, it might be the best Megadeth record, maybe. In fact, I like Symphony. I like the Countdown to Extinction more.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the beautiful goulash that we're all swimming in.
It's a beautiful part of music.
It's a nice stew. Well, it's your fucking opinion.
Exactly.
Everyone who gets butthurt about that, 2 words: grow up.
Well, yeah, that and
time to grow up.
Listen, different styles of music invoke something new and differently in all of us. Last night, I was nursing my old man back, had some ice on it because I'm fucking grandpa apparently, and I was just sitting in my studio, just like putting on record after record, like everywhere from
just Rust in Peace after Rust in Peace after Rust in Peace.
Then I listened to Dawn Patrol 20 times. No, I mean, I went everywhere from the Ventures, then I went to Rainbow with Dio.
We end our lives as moles. Oh, Jesus.
Pleases me.
I am so glad I listened to Rust in Peace just because I was given a treasure that I will harbor deep in my soul for the rest of my life, and that's Dawn Patrol.
That's your favorite track on the record, isn't it?
Fuck yeah. That's my favorite Megadeth song. It's so awesome.
I hate that song.
You know, our friend Kat, Metallica Kat, she drew a comparison that I thought was pretty fair. She said, is anyone getting any God That Failed vibes from Dawn Patrol? Because it's kind of got that...
Oh, yeah. That's very true. Never thought about that.
Yeah. Interesting, right?
Very, very interesting.
All right, thanks, Steve. Greg writes in, hey, guys, great episode as always. Always great comedy. I gather I'm on Clint's side with Holy Wars. To me, it has some great riffs, great solos, but it just sounds to me like a decently produced demo. A few decent songs. It's obvious Dave was trying to upstage Metallica. Sorry, never has. Metallica's records grab you, hold on to you, musically, sonically, how they're structured. Okay, except for Saint Anger, which I love, by the way. James's lyrics are real, relatable. Dave's lyrics, like his voice, are rather undesirable, trying to be nice. To each their own, but clearly Metallica writes superior songs. Till the next episode, Greg Staso, Patreon supporter.
Ooh, thank you, Greg.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, thank you.
Well, obviously, I think we both would agree with him in terms of the comparison to Metallica.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And if you're the 1 or 2 people out there that think, Rust in Peace is the best metal record of all time, that's okay. But if you all you have to do is literally look at a piece of paper and how they've done, and it's Metallica just as songwriters, they are superior songwriters.
I'm tempted to take back everything I've ever said about the subjectivity and personal preference of music and just say you're scientifically wrong.
You're scientifically
wrong. If you think
wrong.
Rust in Peace is the greatest record of all time.
Scientifically speaking, let's get the charts out.
I would put like 18 Tori Amos records above fucking Rust in Peace, dude.
And she hasn't even made 18. That's what's crazy.
Exactly. I'm counting 6 of her future records against Rust in Peace. All right.
Thank you, Greg. Next email's from Samuel Mullins. Hey, Clint and Ethan. Being a massive nerd, I spent the last little while wondering what Metallica might play if they ever got to do the Super Bowl halftime show. I'd be interested to hear what your fantasy set list might be. They've only got 12 to 13 minutes to fill, so you're going to have to cut things down and move things around. So it's a bit to think about, and I understand if you can't do it straight away. But for your thoughts, here's how I would do it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Okay.
He says, they crash in with Hit the Lights from the beginning through the first solo after the first chorus, and then the trash can ending. Is that the right phrase? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's about 1 minute and 30 seconds. Then it's The Memory Remains from the top to the first da-da-da-da, bit about 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, so you're 4 minutes in now. Let the crowd sing the da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-dee-dap-dee-dap-dee-dap. 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 Let the crowd sing the da-da-da bit, and then it's Moth into Flame. Then go up to the first chorus, then pivot to the outro, which is about 2 minutes, so you're halfway there. And from there, you do nothing else matters.
We're living on a prayer.
Living on a prayer. Take my hand.
Nah, we'll make it, I promise.
I promise.
Desmond Child, you silly guy.
DC. From there, you do nothing else matters. Probably shorten the intro, do a couple verses, chorus and solo. Whatever takes about 3 minutes. Then finish with Sandman, short intro, verse, chorus, solo, bridge, outro. That should about do it. The only one I'm not sure about is Moth. I just figured they want to play something new, but you could switch it out for something else. Sorry for the extremely niche, overthought out email, but I really would be interested to hear your ideas. Thanks always for your hard work. I'm counting down the days till they make it to Australia in a couple months. Sam from Canberra, Australia.
Okay. Well, here's my hot take, as the kids call it. They call them hot takes now.
Yeah. What's your hot take, Clint?
Okay. They're not playing Hit the Lights at the Super Bowl.
I was going to.
Okay.
That was my first comment.
If they play anything from Kill 'Em All, it's going to be Seek. But I don't think we hit that at all.
I could see them maybe closing the whole set with just the outro to that, but it's gonna be Enter Sandman.
So he's basically allotting, if they edit songs, he's saying Hit the Lights, Memory, Moth, Nothing Else Matters, Sandman. So he's giving them 5 songs, but they're edited, which I get that. They're going to cut a bridge or a verse or an intro.
Right.
Here's a
medley, as we call it.
Here's just my hot take on a Metallica Super Bowl. I think they're going to come right out of the gate with something like Sad But True.
Something very recognizable.
And so let's say Sad for me. Memory Remains, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think also Fuel.
I mean, for a football game?
Especially for a sporting event.
Yeah, jocks like that song.
Jocks like me and you.
Yeah.
No way they're doing Nothing Else Matters at the Super Bowl. There's no fucking way.
I don't know. I mean,
ding, 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 ding.
I could see them maybe doing if it's like this big medley thing, maybe them coming in on the verse and chorus right before the solo, and then something like that. Yeah.
No way, man. Okay, first of all,
it wouldn't be my choice.
I do think they would do something new from the record, and I think it would probably either be Hardwired or Moth.
Yeah.
And it probably would be Moth.
I mean, Moth is. They're still. Those are the two they're continuously playing.
That's what they played at the Grammys.
I don't think they would do anything pre-Justice, to be honest. I could maybe see him doing part of one.
They maybe do the Machine Gun part of one.
Yeah, but I can't see him. I mean, maybe Puppet. I mean, think you do part of Puppets?
Puppets would be the biggest thing. Puppets or Bells.
Yeah,
would be the biggest things from those.
Honestly, I don't think they want to do it.
Well, didn't they want to do the Super Bowl, but they got locked? What's that whole deal?
What happened was there was this big petition going around by fans to get them to play the Super Bowl because they had never done it, and I can't remember who they booked that year. So basically, the NFL came out and basically said something like we don't want them to play the Super Bowl. Like we don't. Their fans aren't. Something was kind of gnarly. Like their fans aren't the kind of people we want, associated with the NFL or something kind of rude,
right.
super rude.
This is a title from Metal Injection from 2016 called Metallica Explain Why They Won't Ever Play the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It says James Hetfield told Nikki Sixx on his radio show that Metallica's time to play the show is likely past and the band doesn't really fit the image anyway. And then this is James's quote. He says, I can't dance, I can't jump around. I'm not an acrobat. I'm not a variety show, We're artists. We're a band. We love playing songs. We're not going to fly through the air on a sparkly star with a unicorn.
I would love to see that.
Me too. Just have Bon Jovi give him some lessons, man. Come on.
For sure, you still have those old harnesses around.
It's become less about music, unfortunately, and more about just the spectacle. I agree. When we played for the 50th anniversary of the NFL right here in our hometown and they didn't have us do it, that would have been the time. Maybe that time has passed. So...
Yeah, it was interesting. So what the Metallica ended up doing was booking their own show at where the San Francisco Giants play and selling out a damn stadium and broadcasting it live. So I watched it from home. And they called the show Too Heavy for halftime.
Yeah. That's a famous show, right?
Yeah. It was great.
And I watched it from home.
I watched it from my home with a bowl of popcorn in my lap.
Gone forever the days when we become moles. Now we watch Too Heavy for halftime from home.
Dare I say, we will watch it until the dawn.
Until the dawn patrol shoots the mighty flares, thus waking the crow, thus waking the rooster,
The raven.
thus waking the three-eyed raven, thus waking the archers,
I was just picturing a three-eyed raven.
thus lowering the drawbridge, thus filling the moat.
Fill the moat with the gators. Let them rip the flesh from thine
And
bone.
now I'd like to read from you a poem which I wrote on the way here, entitled, We End Our Lives as Moles. I'm going to write a poem called We End Our Lives as Moles.
I love it.
And then have Paw read it. All right, we got one more email
Well.
before we listen to some Slayer. And good God, I got to get out of here soon because it's a half day. Mike Fell. Is this correct? Am I right in this? Am I correct on this order here?
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
your turn.
He says, guys, I'm loving these Explore the Big Four series. I'm more like Clint, where I dipped into the other three, but never was much of a fan of them. And so hearing them and your commentary is great. One album you haven't even mentioned yet is Cryptic Writings.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Risk from their late 90s catalog, but I'm more excited to hear Cryptic Writings. It's probably my favorite Megadeth album, but my sense is that Megadeth trues don't love it. What say ye, Ethan, of that?
I can't form an educated opinion on that currently. I haven't listened to that record probably in at least 10 to 15 years.
He says, if I had to guess, Ethan didn't love it and hasn't listened to it much recently, which
Hey,
is what
there you
just
go.
said. I have a feeling Clint may dig it, though. Slower tempo, less ridiculous lyrics. Is that possible? More groove-based metal, and Dave doesn't overdave his vocals. I'm sure you'll get to it in due time, but I'm looking forward to that one. Peace, Mike in Houston. Well, yeah, dude.
Maybe I'll put that on in the car when I'm driving home just to get a little taste.
Yeah, who's going to drive you home, though?
Tonight?
Rico Kasich?
Oh, he'll drive me home, yeah.
I love our
In his car.
I love our non-metal pop references.
I know, it's pretty fun.
I love us.
Us.
All right, look,
This is us.
This is a mole. This is our last night as moles. Use it wisely, yes.
Should you dare.
Because with the Dawn Patrol, we end our lives as moles. Dawn Patrol. Dude, imagine Dave Mustaine sitting at a table or on a boat or a pirate ship, whatever he does.
Yeah.
And he's like getting the idea for Dawn Patrol.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck. Dave Elson's like, hey, Dave, you want to shoot some movies? He's like, shh.
Shh. Quiet.
I'm writing Dawn Patrol right now, Dave. I need absolute silence. Wow. How's your portfolio? Wow. Yeah. Cool.
Let's say strong to quite strong.
It's strong to quite strong, his portfolio. All right, listen, before we go down and meet the parents' rabbit hole,
Oh, man.
let's bounce out of the emo corner.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's Clint from Metal Up Your Podcast, and we hope you're enjoying the Metal Tales from the Road series. If you've been keeping up with us, then you already know that we've covered every stop on the 2018-2019 North American Arena Tour, and we look forward to catching up with all of our European friends later this year on the Stadium Tour overseas. And there's more. After the Stadium Tour, we are continuing the Metal Tales series for any Metallica show in the past. Maybe you saw one of the Orion festivals. Maybe you were at the Channel in 1984 and Cliff Burton bought you a beer. Maybe you were at one of the 30th anniversary shows, or you just saw a regular-ass show in North Dakota somewhere. We want to hear from you. Since Ethan and I started Metal Up Your Podcast, we've wanted to find a way for listeners to call in and share their stories. Well, this is it. To make yourself eligible for a future or past Metal Tales episode, please consider joining us on Patreon. For $5 a month, you not only get to come on the show as a guest, you also get both of our Cover Our World Blackened EPs, monthly giveaways like deluxe box sets, rare vinyl, posters, and other goodies. You get early access to our YouTube videos, and we also let you ask our guests, like Ray Burton, Michael Wagner, Hailstorm, members of Slipknot, your very own questions. For what essentially amounts to 2 cups of coffee a month, you can ensure that Metal Up Your Podcast continues to grow in quality and content. For any of you on the ride with us, we love you, we thank you, peace and adios. Well, let's talk about... So here's the deal. A lot kind of happened with this release. So we want to contextualize Repentless by Slayer. It's the last record they've made, and since they've been on the seemingly never-ending farewell tour...
Right. They
This
just
might
did
be
their last European show ever, like just a few days ago.
It's just annoying because now they're calling every stop like the last time did Slayer plays Cleveland,
Right.
The last time Slayer plays Dayton.
The last time Slayer plays Nashville. It's
It's like, okay, we get it. You're done.
Yeah.
We're either going to come or we're not.
it's fine if it's like this is the last show we're doing in Europe. Europe's a big place.
Europe's quite large.
This
I'm
is our
told.
last show in America. But when it's like every city,
Yeah.
it's like I know
This is our last show in this quadrant of I-65. This is our last show in Davidson County.
Don't worry, Sumner County, we'll be back.
We'll be back, Sumner. It's not our last show there yet.
Yeah, and Wilson County, you're up next.
But here's the deal. In my opinion, Slayer's number 2 for me.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend to be a massive Slayer fan, but I love God Hates Us All, Christ's Illusion. I like Rain and Blood.
Yeah.
I've listened to it. Like Megadeth, people couldn't understand this. I'd never listened to Rust in Peace.
Right.
Because I'm not a fucking masochist, and if I don't like something, I don't spend my free time listening to it.
Sure, yeah.
What's so fun about, to me, and I think a lot of our listeners about Explore the Big Four, is that you and I get to do it together. And I get to understand what is good about it. Because I will say this, if you are going to try to get someone into something that they don't know about yet, and you love it,
Yeah.
and part of your friendship, because I do this with my wife. I want my wife to understand why I love some of the music I love, and she might love it too, and then we can share
Right,
that.
yeah.
Having someone curate the experience for you and help you like contextualize it. Well, this is what was going on in the band.
Absolutely.
This is Nick Menza. He's on this record, and this is his first album with them, or this is Joey Belladonna's first record back. Like,
Right, yeah.
You start understanding why it is what it is, and that can help you.
Absolutely, it can. Yeah,
And-
100%.
And that's super fun. You know,
It's
like,
very fun. Just, yeah, like you're saying, when you get a bit of history or what's going on at the band at that time, why that record sounded the way it did, that kind of stuff makes more sense when you have a bit of a history to it and, some facts about
and
it.
think about it too. Like, you thought I was going to hate Dawn Patrol,
I did.
and now it's hands down my favorite. Megadeth song.
I thought I don't like Dawn Patrol. Surely Clint's going to hate this.
It's just so far out.
I know. It's but that's what's fun about music too. I mean, people will surprise you in their tastes. Like you might assume, oh yeah, Clint's going to hate this for sure. But
Now, here's what's not going to happen with a Slayer record. And I bought this record when it came out because it was a new Slayer record. It popped up on my iTunes. I was like, I got $7. Hell yeah, I'll get the new Slayer record.
Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome, and it sounds great. Produced by Terry Date, who is famous for doing all the Pantera stuff.
Right.
And we're going to get into some of these details because there's actually a lot of interesting details about this record. But here's one thing that's true about Slayer. Not a lot of surprises. They're like the AC/DC of extreme metal.
They kind of
because-
are, yeah.
Well, I don't want to say extreme metal. Sorry, I know there's much more extreme metal.
extreme metal.
There's like people who think that Metallica are like pussies and that Cannibal Corpse should be the whatever.
Oh, right, yeah. 'Cause their songs are so catchy.
I didn't mean to say extreme. I just mean
Extreme.
They're like the AC/DC of metal.
Right, or like the Ramones. I mean, like, bands that don't really change their sound. They don't go out into left field ever.
They don't really have a Dawn Patrol.
No,
they did.
stick to the same road they're driving down, and because it works for
They
them.
did kind of do like a mid '90s new metal-ish sounding Dialabus and Musica record
Yeah.
that I actually like, but I don't think Slayer fans like that much. From my, I've probably listened to Repentless about 10 times.
Okay.
Maybe a little more than I've listened to Saint Anger.
Yeah. By the
Although
way,
it's been out a lot less.
I know Kerry King is kind of like the main lyricist in this band.
He wrote almost every song, yeah. Hanneman wrote one lyric, and Tom Araya co-wrote one lyric. That's it.
Does Kerry King do his very best to think of the most anti-God album titles? Like, okay, this time around, what can I do that's going to be very anti-God?
I mean,
I understand that's their whole image, and that's been their look, and the lyric content is very much that. Mm-hmm. But it almost becomes a little bit comical to me. Like
it is comical
when they're in their 50s now, and it's like, all right, guys, got the album title, Repentless.
that's the way to look at it too. I mean, when you browse a metal section in a record store, which you and I often do,
Sure.
I look at one almost every day. You'll find some real underground titled, real dark, rotting Christ, and
Yeah.
but see, I'm a suburban kid from Alabama, and I grew up like Hollywood, Marilyn Manson's 1999 Hollywood, where the cover's like Marilyn Manson looking like Jesus and his jaw's gone.
Yeah.
That scared me.
That's scary for suburban
So when
kids,
I started to dig into Cannibal Corpse and Rotting Christ and
Anal vomit
and anal cunt and all this nonsense, that makes Slayer look real pedestrian. But you're right. Like, as far as mainstream metal, Slayer is the, like, God Hates Us All, Christ Illusion,
Rain and Blood,
the
South
cover
of Heaven.
The cover of Repentless is like a crucified, like a crown of thorns.
Yeah.
And he's like an anti-theist. And and
it's so funny when it comes to Slayer and anything that they put out, the records that I like, and just knowing that Tom Araya is a devout Catholic, like to this day. It's so interesting. I think it's entertainment for Tom Araya.
I think a lot of devout Catholics would take issue with calling him a devout Catholic, because I don't know if
probably
frontman of Slayer would fit their resume for devout Catholic. But he has come out and said he's a religious cat.
Yeah. He's
a Christian. And I think he's made a lot of interesting comments about how he separates the art from his personal life. And, you know, I think that's a really interesting aspect of Slayer.
Yeah. There was an old, I got to find it, but there was an old-ish interview I remember seeing about Tom Araya talking about that. But it's somebody asking about the lyrical content and stuff like that, and he just kind of starts laughing. It's to him, it's just kind of jokey. Like, not that the band is a joke, but like lyrically, he's like, "Oh, I don't agree with that." But then he just is kind of cracking up, like.
And he doesn't write them.
Right.
I mean, I doubt Kerry King thinks they're very funny.
Oh no,
he seems like a very overly serious, unfunny person to me.
Yeah,
and his lyrics are probably Dave Mustaine level. I mean, we're going to dig into it here and see.
Yeah, I'm interested to.
But I'm not super impressed with his really angry anti-theist. You know, payback's a bitch, motherfucker. You know.
Yeah.
But it is interesting how his lyrics and the way that Tom barks out the songs and just their sort of uncompromising aggression all form this great thing that's Slayer.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, after 30 years, one thing we can say is like they didn't do a Dawn Patrol. They never made a Black Album. They never really compromised. They kind of just was Slayer.
They just, I mean, I think that early on in their career, they figured out what they were best at and how they were.
And then they did that.
And they did that. But how every puzzle piece fit together perfectly to create this thing called Slayer, and just ran with it and never really strayed from the path other than that one record that was a little more groovy or something. And
it's
even
just
then,
the tone's a little different, but I think it rocks.
Yeah.
See, metalheads can be so tribal and so like territorial. It's like, you know me. I didn't dislike the Black Album. I didn't dislike the Loads. To me, it's like heavy music and it sounds cool. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I turned a corner on Saint Anger, but that record is so insanely different. Dialibus and Musica is not that insane.
Right, yeah. It's not that far.
It's not like they're playing a fucking sitar. It's
Damn it, there's no sitar on that
It's four
record?
dudes playing metal.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Well, I will say, I mean, you know, even though Kerry King writes the lyrics, like to your point a second ago, Tom's tone, his delivery, his aggression.
It's always just like this.
It is, and that's kind of how Slayer works.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, also with that being said, and I think when we did Seasons in the Abyss, that's also a big reason why I can't sit down and like listen to more than a Slayer record in a row. It just gets to the point where it's just kind of I get fatigued. Like,
no, I mean, listen. All right, let's put it bluntly. There's a reason that Metallica sells out stadiums in 2019,
right?
And that Slayer still plays clubs. Okay, that's because they do a very small niche thing. It's for young people,
sure,
and they're not young anymore.
Yeah,
and they never really wrote songs that transcended that.
Right.
And that's okay.
Totally.
I don't think they're that butthurt about it. Although there is some interesting stuff about this. So let's get into some facts about the record. It was released on September 11th, 2015. Interesting to release a record on September 11th. I mean, I'm guessing that was intentional. It's the 12th studio album and the first since the death of Jeff Hanneman, who died in 2013. So he died of liver failure on May 2nd, 2013, and the official cause of death was alcohol-related cirrhosis, which is a liver issue from just alcoholism. But originally, it was linked to he got a spider bite
in Australia, right?
And I don't know if it was in Australia. He was in a friend's hot tub. I know that.
Ooh,
which I'm like, God damn, what kind of spider's in the fucking hot tub?
Yeah, no joke.
You know,
spider that can't be drowned.
Well, I did think this was interesting. The spider bite was linked to what was diagnosed as necrotizing fasciitis.
That sounds like their next record title.
Which if it's not a Cannibal Corpse title, it
Slayer
needs to
should
be.
take it.
Oh, once again, public service announcement. Put all the members of Cannibal Corpse on a watch list because they will murder somebody. I want to just put that back out there. I've read some of their lyrics. I've listened to some of the music. It's all about murdering people and having sex with their entrails. I'm just saying put them on a watch list. That's all.
After all these years, they're finally on a watch list. They've been doing it for about 30 years.
I'm just saying.
Maybe we should pay attention to them.
When that career dries up, when they no longer have that outlet to sing about murdering women and pregnant women and eating babies, they'll probably do it. I'm also just kidding, by the way.
I don't want to be there when they do it.
Also, put them on a fucking watch list. So, sadly, Jeff Hanneman died, and he was like one of the main songwriters. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a really...
I think also as a guitar player, I think he was the better guitar player technically over Kerry King.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I know their work that well enough to say.
Yeah, I just... And I can't say that as well, but after seeing them live, I don't know. I have a lot of friends that are big Slayer fans. Jack O'Shea's a huge Slayer fan, and he kind of rips. He's like, Kerry King's really sloppy.
I do know that for sure.
Yeah, Jeff Hanneman was like the their solos all kind of like the just kind of as fast as you can play.
They're like, can we play so fast that people don't know if we're good or not? That's kind of like what it's like.
That's the trick.
Gary Holt, famously Bay Area guitarist, most famous for Exodus, replaced Hanneman. So this is his first record with them. And Paul Bostaph's on drums, who was famous for being in the band from 92 to 2001.
Oh, that's right. He did come back.
He replaced Dave Lombardo. So, the last record they did in 2001 was God Hates Us All. That was the last time he was there. So they'd gone all through World Painted Blood. What was that record? World Painted Blood, yeah. So that was the one, that was 2009.
Okay.
And this was the longest gap, 6 years, the longest gap in between any Slayer record.
Yeah.
So we got Paul Bostaph, Gary Holt, and I believe it's Kerry King playing everything on the record in Jeff Hanneman's absence. I don't think Gary played on the record.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But this is his first record as a member of Slayer.
Okay.
This is their first album on Nuclear Blast, which are you familiar with that record label,
I
right?
know of the label. I don't know what other artists are on there though.
It's the first album in 29 years not produced or executive produced by Rick Rubin.
Oh, yeah. Rick Rubin's done almost all their records. That's crazy.
And as I said before, Terry Date did. If you're going to get a guy, get Terry. So here's what. First of all, Terry Date did Bad Motorfinger. He did Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, Great
So
Southern Trend
nothing
Kill.
that really sounded that good.
And then, of course, he did like more pop shit. He did Limp Bizkit's Big Records, Deftones, Incubus, Stained, Slipknot.
Chocolate Starfish and whatever it was
Exactly,
called.
yeah. Dysfunction by Stained.
Keep rolling.
Korn. So they're in good hands. Now,
Yeah, for
I was
sure.
reading a little bit before, and Kerry King took a little shot at Metallica because I guess they had been doing some stuff with Fiddleman.
Okay.
And then he made some comment like, well, Metallica's got Greg Fiddleman monopolized, so we can't use Greg Fiddleman. I'm like, fuck you.
Come on.
All right. Anyway, so they went with Terry Date, which, I mean, shit, man. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, if you did Vulgar Display of Power and Far Beyond Driven and Bad Motorfinger, like I think you're in good hands.
I'm curious, too, if there was some beef with old Ricardo Rubin.
Maybe.
Between him and old Kerry, Dawn Patrol King.
Yeah. Carrie, we end our lives as moles, King. Do you think that after all those years of working with Rick Rubin, literally since the beginning of their career, and now there's a little beef? Or
Well, I mean, think about this. In the beginning of their career, Rick didn't have that much going on, and Slayer, you think about it, Slayer's probably, well, this album charted better than any of their other albums. However,
Okay.
when was Slayer the biggest? Probably when they made Rain and Blood.
Rain and Blood is
Seasons in the Abyss.
Yeah, I'd say late 80s, early 90s.
So, Rick Rubin has just ascended into the stratosphere. Look at Johnny Cash, and
Right.
we've done a whole episode on Rick Rubin. Go seek it out. We covered the whole deal. And Slayer has kind of faded more into obscurity. And Rick, as we've seen even with Death Magnetic, even with the biggest metal band in the world, is kind of hands off. Mm-hmm. Who knows if all those things came to a head? I know that Corey Taylor came to a head with Rick Rubin when Rick Rubin did a Slipknot record. And basically, he's like, motherfucker's not there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'd be pissed too.
It is interesting though that they're trying to scoop up his like acolyte. That Greg
Right,
Fiddleman's kind of
right.
like the engineer under Rick Rubin, and now they're all like, who really produced that record was Greg Fiddleman.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, the album debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, the highest charting debut from Slayer in the United States.
Crazy.
It went number 1 in Germany and was top 10 in 20 charts around the world. And it also, as we said before, before we could start listening, it might be their last record. What are
Maybe
they going to
so.
do? A farewell tour? Did Slayer's last time in Omaha, and they're going to put a new record out.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I always thought that would be a great way to end a band, though. Like, do your farewell tour, and then, get together, put out one last record, put it out. You never tour it, do anything. Like, here's our last little gift to our fans. Enjoy it, But, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to listen to this record, though, being that I have not ever listened to it.
Well, check this out. A Loudwire article from May of 2015 entitled, and, again, this is like might just be clickbaity shit, but Kerry King. Slayer's split with Rick Rubin triggered by insulting offer for new album Repentless. Oh, color me Dawn Patrolled. For the better part of 2 decades, Slayer found themselves comfortably signed to producer Rick Rubin's record label, American Recordings. However, it was recently announced that Slayer's 11th album, Repentless, would be released via Nuclear Blast. The label switch was somewhat surprising, but in a new interview, Slayer guitarist Kerry King reveals the move was triggered by an insulting offer from American Recordings. Rubin's historic partnership with Slayer began during the Rain and Blood recording sessions, of which Rubin manned the production helm. The classic 86 album, along with 15 additional releases of all sorts, all taken care of under the American Recordings umbrella. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That's like Radiohead with Nigel Godrich. Like, they just made every record with him.
Yeah.
If they suddenly, made a record with, Brian Eno or something, it'd be super weird.
Yeah, it would be weird, yeah.
While speaking with the Metal Hammer magazine show, Kerry King delved deep into Slayer's parting with American Recordings. This is juicy, Ethan.
Super juicy details.
Solidarity is far stronger than jumping ship and going somewhere else, says King. I thought we'd be on American, but when we got the offer from American, I was insulted. That to me just said, good luck, you're not going to have good luck here anymore. So we found our new friends at Nuclear Blast. Tom Araya adds, it was more like he broke the news to us. When we started this record, it was on the pretext that we would be working with Rick, but things didn't pan out. We've sort of moved on. So I guess that means... It's so hard to tell what all this means, but
I know. Well,
he made him such a shitty offer that it was basically him saying, I get it if you need to split, because this is what we're willing to offer.
Or I wonder, what was that offer? Was that offer...
In advance?
No, what I'm saying, as far as an amount, like, was it insulting to Kerry King because it was low, or was it realistic for where they were as a band?
Oh, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
probably somewhere in the murky depths between all that.
Right.
It was probably, I don't know. I don't think Kerry King is that delusional about what Slayer's worth. It was probably low.
Yeah.
Well, think about it, man. Is Slayer selling records? I mean, is Slayer a viable band to give a huge advance to in 2015 for
Probably
American
not.
Recordings?
Probably
or
not.
He's like, that money went to Matt Carney. Sorry.
Matt Carney, is he on American?
Well, no, I just know
Did Rick
that
do a record with him?
I know that Rick was wanting to produce Matt.
okay.
I think Matt passed on it, actually.
Really?
The story I heard, because a lot of my buddies play with Matt, is Matt Carney's a indie kind of pop artist here in Nashville. He's a cool guy. Is that after his first record blew up, he went out to Rick's house.
Okay.
And played him all of his, just him on the porch with Rick playing him his songs. And Rick was like, that should be your album, trying to Nebraska it.
Oh, okay.
And Matt was like, no, I definitely want a big band and big production. And
yeah.
I definitely don't want to do acoustic demos
but that's kind of what Rick Rubin's known for doing, though, is really stripping things down, making this record, like listen to Death Magnetic, for instance. I mean, it's the driest sounding. It's drier than Kill 'Em All. It sounds like there's zero effects on anything. That's what he does. You listen to that Johnny Cash stuff. A lot of it is very dry.
So here's what's going on with Greg Fidelman. So he apparently they did some shit with him, and there's all this other drama with Dave leaving the band. Apparently him and Tom had problems. Tom Araya had problems. Yeah. But he's talking about, this is the new Slayer album, which would become Repentless. This is from 2013. He says, Kerry King says, I've got 11 songs done. I don't know who's going to do them. I don't know who's going to produce it. I don't know who's going to play it. I think Metallica's got Greg Fidelman monopolized. He had February open, and I was hoping to get some work done in February. And then February just got too busy for us. I don't know. If he gets another window, I'd like to do it between Australia and Europe in June. That'd be great. Just be done with it. He says 2 songs are done. We recorded 2 last year with Fidelman, and they just never got mixed. He says they're done,
okay.
vocals, leads, everything.
Wow.
He says we were going to put them out before our appearance at the Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival. Good God. The Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival.
Well, there used to be the one just called the Mayhem Festival.
He says, but that never got done, so I said, why waste them on an EP for nothing? Let's save them for the record. Those songs are done. 9 others I've just got to teach whoever's going to play them, and they're ready to go. He just has kind of a dickish mentality.
It's like, let's just fucking do it, bro. Come on.
Because this other thing came up where like it was like
kind of his. I know obviously Tom's been there forever since the beginning, but I mean it's kind of it's Carey's baby. He writes everything. He writes all the lyrics. I mean, for like 98% of it, he comes up, I'm sure, with the art direction and the album titles and all that stuff. And
excuse me, yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, but Lars, Metallica's kind of Lars's baby, and you don't really hear him talking like that,
right?
You're right. On the Wikipedia article, it does just refer to it as a Mayhem Festival. Although I gotta say,
it's the same one, but
the Rockstar Energy Drink Mayhem Festival has a lovely metal ring to it.
It just rolls off the tongue.
It just rolls off the tongue into my butt. I wanted to find this thing of him talking about who was writing stuff because it kind of came off weird.
Yeah,
because there's a Hanneman song that's on the record called Piano Wire, which he wrote before, and I guess Tom Araya said in the press like, "Oh, there's a Hanneman song on it," and then Kerry King came out. Here we go. King has announced his desire for the band to continue, but Araya was more uncertain, stating after 30 years, it would literally be like starting over. This is him expressing doubts about moving on without Jeff Hanneman.
Right.
So this is leading up to recording Repentless. In March 2015, Araya revealed that the band had recorded one song prior to Hanneman's passing and that the song would appear on the album. The result was the song Piano Wire. Araya explained that Hanneman would be a part on the album, but when King later dismissed the claim, saying, Jeff Hanneman isn't physically playing on this record. Somebody reported some bullshit. People say shit when they don't know what's actually going on. Even though Jeff's song Piano Wire was recorded during the last album cycle, I played all the guitar. I've been doing that for years. Since he has no lead on that song, he's not on it. Why don't you just maybe let that ride for a second, big ego guy?
And wasn't the news of it being reported from Tom?
Yes.
From your singer?
Yes, from your frontman. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like he's the kind of guy that he has a hard time giving credit to other people.
Right. Well, so where does that come from? It's like I don't know, man. I've written a lot of songs that like I co-wrote an entire record called Cactus with Elise.
Yeah.
And when it started getting press last September, there was one article, a big expose on the whole record, and it mentioned every songwriter on it but me.
So weird.
Which is fine. Like, she kind of got pissed about it and wrote back into him and whatever. It's not a big a deal, but it's like, but the songs they were most excited about the record that got the best reviews were the ones that I wrote with her.
Right, yeah.
That's better for me. I don't need to write into the fucking editor.
Yeah, excuse me. I was a co-writer on most of these songs.
And like, I write songs with a lot of people here in this very place that you're sitting with people, and they go out and play them around the world.
Sure.
I don't think they're saying before they play every song, co-written by my friend Clint Wells in Nashville.
Right, but if there's an article about the album, that's a different story, because in that article you're going to go a little deeper than just, who you are. It's like, tell me about these songs. But I feel like Kerry King's the kind of guy that, like, over the years, other guys in the band have probably written things like Hanneman and Tom, but it kind of has to pass, Kerry's test. That's just the vibe I get from him.
Yeah, I got it. Listen to this. In February 2013, during an interview with Eddie Trunk, King declared that while Hanneman still had not been involved with the album, the band was waiting for label issues to be resolved before recording. King stated that he and Lombardo had 8 songs, so he's like working these out with Dave, who wouldn't even be on the album. When asked about whether or not Exodus guitarist Gary Holt, who'd been filling in for Hanneman during live shows, would play on the record, King denied it, saying that he would handle all guitars except for Hanneman's lead parts. King also said that Hanneman had yet to offer up any material for the album. Araya later contradicted his statement about Hanneman and stated that Hanneman had been working on material for the album. Shortly after Hanneman's death, Araya revealed that Hanneman had gone so far as to send Araya music that had been worked on. It just sounds like they don't communicate well.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe for sure.
But anyway, that doesn't really have much even to do with the music. You want to get into the record?
I do, yeah.
So here we go. Repentless by Slayer. I believe track 1 is an instrumental entitled Delusions of Savior. That's kind of cool.
I don't know. I could use a little more sauce on that tone, the cleanish tone.
I think this is cool.
This is heavy. I dig it. Yeah.
It's Kind of got an Alice in Chainsy thing with that wah.
Yeah, that.
Because it's kind of doing a wow wow now wow now. Gonna call the Dawn Patrol.
Live our life as moles.
Forgotten are the days where we lived our lives as moles. Guitar harmony.
There's that classic Slayer guitar harmony. They kind of perfected that, man. They like their guitar harmony parts. You know it's Slayer when you hear it.
I think this is awesome.
Slowing down. I think it's great. I'm having a blast so far, Clint.
Good. All right, straight into title track, Repentless.
What are they for?
What are they for? What are they for?
It's gonna be fast, isn't it?
It's gonna be Slayer.
See, they don't really stray from the path, man.
Wow.
I kind of wish that riff that they played originally would be this fast part.
Instead of these kind of diamonds.
Yeah. This sounds like it would be like the chorus or something. Maybe it is. There we go. In the words of Clint. Woo!
Payback's a bitch, motherfucker!
That's right, Dad! Tom sounds great.
Yeah.
His lyrics are kind of bad. This is my life where I kill it every day.
So take a shot, bottoms up. This is no lie. I'll be beating this guitar till the day I die, bro.
Other than when Slayer breaks up.
Yeah.
That part reminds me of Anthrax. I can see you. Ooh, a little wah-wah pedal going still. So interesting that Carrie did all the guitars in this record, but they still did the panning thing. Or do we know that Gary Holt played leads on this?
I think... No, Gary Holt did not.
So just Carrie did all the guitars?
Well, and the couple songs that Jeff played on before he passed away that they did with Greg Fiddleman.
Okay.
That riff is awesome.
I know, that's what I want them to kick into. I gotta hand it to Tom, man. To sing like that for 30 plus years, I'm surprised he can even speak still. I mean, maybe he, actually went and got vocal lessons on how to warm up and warm down, and this song, lyrically, I'm kind of getting the vibe that it's just like, no, I don't want to grow up. I'm gonna do this till I die.
Well, they're saying it's like about the band. It's about the band's worldview.
Right. Okay.
The Slayer is repentless.
Sure.
We're gonna play this. We're gonna play this guitar till we die.
Yeah.
That was a funny. We're gonna play this song until we die, or until we play our last show in Dayton.
Okay.
I mean, it's brutal.
I mean, musically, I'm loving it. I always like Tom's vocals.
This is Take Control. Kerry King's favorite musical fast one of the bunch. It's about when I do anything overtly political, I make it as generic as I can so it fits in any society. I mean, these lyrics aren't that bad.
These ones aren't bad.
They're pretty cool. Well, not the verses.
I mean, thankfully with Slayer, you have Tom's delivery, which, if you're not reading the lyrics, might not seem so bad, you know?
Yeah.
On certain parts, obviously. Cool riff.
Honey, it says here that the mastering engineer was Howie Weinberg.
Oh my God! I can't believe that. Isn't that Vinny's nephew?
I never knew what his name was. I knew what his dog's name was. Ronaldo.
Ronaldo! What a cutie pie.
You know what? I just always referred to him as Ronaldo's dad.
Yeah. I think that was Vincent's nephew.
Well, turns out he has a name, Howie Weinberg.
Oh, Howie.
We write songs about society.
It's like punk. Society's not going to tell me what to do.
Take control.
Oh, yeah.
But see, you know what I like about it? Like, there's an identifiable chorus.
There is, yeah.
Like, this song has a structure that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
So did Repentless. I had a chorus. I think this record sounds good.
I think it sounds good, yeah. Hey, listen, I'm having a great time so far. Early morning Slayer record listening, I'm down.
Well, this drummer sounds dope.
Yeah, drummer's good.
This song is called Vices.
It's weird that he's hitting crash cymbals and there's just no other rhythm there on that intro. I don't know, it just sounds kind of weird. Not a big complaint, though.
See, I love it's fast, but it's got that groove under it.
Yeah.
More songs about society. I bet he says society in every song.
Okay.
This chorus sounds like a Faith No More chorus. I'm going to sing it the next time.
A little violence is the ultimate drug. Let's get high. That's weird.
I keep killing you till the end of time. What song is that? Falling to Pieces? Did you ever get into Faith No More?
Oh, yeah. Angel Dust is a great record. Angel Dust and The Real Thing.
Yeah, the Falling to Pieces is on The Real Thing. It's track 1.
Falling to Pieces is on Angel Dust, I think.
No, you're 100% wrong.
It's falling to pieces. Oh. What's the one on Angels I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
Shit.
But you were dead wrong about Falling to Pieces.
It's on The Real Thing, yeah.
Hell yeah. That's like a Pantera riff.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Welcome down. Burn.
I forgot about the Faith No More song. Surprise, you're dead.
Surprise, you're dead. Open your eyes. That's killer, man.
I forgot I need to find that on vinyl. I forgot they had War Pigs on that record, too.
Wow, it's heavy.
Midlife Crisis. That was the song I was thinking of. I keep killing you till the end of time. Let's do drugs. I don't love the chorus, Clint.
You don't love the chorus?
Musically, it's bitchin'. Just lyrically, I just... A little violence is the ultimate drug. Let's get high. That's the part that kind of ruins it for me.
It's retarded poetry. Yeah. I mean, musically it's fucking awesome, but
yeah, musically it's great.
And vocally it's really cool. Ooh, Cast the First Stone. It's a cool intro. Sounds like the Deftones.
Kind of is, yeah.
I watched you change.
Back away.
He says, I actually wrote the lyrics in Athens, Greece. Usually I don't write on tour, but I figured since I have the time, I wouldn't have to be burdened when I get home.
Have to be burdened.
He says he talks weird.
He comes across sometimes like he's
overdramatic.
Overdramatic, like everything's an inconvenience to him. Like, let's just get the record over with, you know? And I'm sorry, when you're on tour, you probably have a ton of time. You have a tech, you have a crew.
Okay.
In society.
Double kick, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's rad. This chorus almost sounds like it should be a pre-chorus and leading into something else. It's still dope. I love the musically. This is awesome.
It's like a big muddy wave hitting you.
Yeah.
When war cries, echo, sacrifice is you. That's like my kid rearranging the letter magnets on my refrigerator.
That was a long snare roll.
What a weird snare fill.
Get.
Wow.
A block of granite on my shoulder you can't knock off. Interesting.
I like the chorus.
Cast the first stone. I like the chorus too.
Cast the first mold in our musical starring molders.
The Mole Patrol. That's classic Slayer right there.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely good shit to bang your head to. I mean, no doubt.
Absolutely. All right, we got next. When the stillness comes.
We wait for the sunlight to show our mole-ish heads. We burrow in your yard like moles.
Join us on the patrolling of the dawn.
Pleases me muchly to cut through the fog with our ship's mast. Yes, it does.
Quite intriguing.
I bide my time.
Thine Carrie King only writes riffs that sound ominous and scary.
This was the first single. I like their dirty little cleanish dirty tone.
They have this one sounds cool. The very first one was a little weird. I don't know. I just wasn't down with it, but this sounds great.
The song is about a dude who wakes up at a crime scene and realizes he's killed everybody. Carrie says it's really cool.
That's what he says?
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. I woke up at a crime scene.
And it was really cool.
First verse of metaphors.
It's cool.
Yeah, I like that. I do love their hard pan guitars. They've kind of always done that. Uh-oh.
This is awesome.
I dig this.
Okay.
I wonder if there's someone out there that has gone through every Slayer song and counted how many times they use the word blood. It's got to be 1,000, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Might be 1,000 just on this record.
When the stillness comes.
That's the second reference to violence.
It's the 700,000th reference to violence.
I mean, and I meant in the last two songs.
You don't really hear a lot of bass on these records.
Not super bass heavy. I think a lot of it he'll just do like do 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 do. Uh oh, shit's about to get real.
Pick scrape. Awesome.
Love that. Uh oh.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right.
I like that one. That's probably my favorite one.
Now, that's my favorite one so far as well.
Favorite one so far.
Chasing Death.
We were going to call it Creeping Death, but Metallica has a monopoly on the word creep.
Yeah, it sucks. But we'll write a song about blood.
Carrie King described chasing death as being about addictions. It's like people who drink too much. They can't help themselves, so they're chasing death.
Some real deep shit right there. As opposed to the rest of us who aren't going to die.
But we're not chasing death.
I mean, walking towards it. The phrasing on those two lines. Outrun, your head.
Well, I know, because Kerry King can't sing. He just writes all the lyrics. So then it's up to Tom to sort of pocket them over speed metal.
I would have been like, won't stop. It can't be outrun, you know?
Yeah.
I love when he just does that.
That's cool. The snare doesn't sound great. It's kind of tucked in there.
Yeah, I don't love it. It's a little over compressed, I think, too. Where it's almost sounding like, instead of this big fat snare, it sounds like this like tapping kind of sound.
Yeah! It sounds like that band Project 86. Andrew Schwab, is that guy?
Oh, yeah. I have a slight history with him.
Double kick, pitching.
This drummer's good, man. Sometimes it's weird when they put in a fucking. Like, there's no fucking easy way. Like, was that because you couldn't think of another word, or
Yeah,
or is it just to add more cadence to it, or I need a couple more syllables, so I'll put in fucking.
I could see that just being the way Kerry wrote it out.
Of course, for sure.
That's. I don't imagine he boasts a large vocabulary. Implode. Moving on into Implode.
Implode.
This song's about like when you implode.
And I think it's cool.
This was offered as a free download in 2014. Their first song in 5 years. Oh, this one does feature Gary Holt on guitar.
Okay.
It's got a Rob Zombie vibe.
Yeah.
Dig through the ditches and burn.
Yeah, Rob Zombie kind of has that similar thing to Tom Araya, where he kind of just sticks with the one.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Where are we going?
People will mosh.
Oh, woo!
F sharp.
We just went down we went up the hill real quick on the roller coaster, and now we just fucking went flying down.
I'd be scared to be at a Slayer concert.
I was in the balcony, so it was a little safer. Their pits are gnarly.
Oh, guess what this song's about according to Carrie?
What's that?
Society's downfalls.
Wait, society?
Yeah. That's what he says. Nation of the Swine.
It's got to be kind of cool and a little crazy to be Tom Araya, where you don't really have to write a melody. It's mostly just cadence.
Oh yeah, there's no melody.
Occasionally you go up to, you know.
God, I would hate to have to memorize these lyrics.
Oh my gosh. Surely he's got a teleprompter. I don't know. I could be wrong, but.
I feel like drummers in bands like this are just hanging on for dear life.
Yeah. Man, if you watch all, any footage of Dave Lombardo, he makes it look so fucking easy. I'm sure this guy did. When I saw him play, a lot of these guys are just conditioned to play like this. That's cool.
Kind of sounds like Battery. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Bottom, bottom.
That's all right.
The drumming's awesome on this record.
It's really good, yeah. All right, we got the Hanneman song next.
Oh, this is Piano Wire, the one Hanneman. He wrote the lyrics to this too, so.
Really? Okay.
See if there's anything to glean.
How are you feeling right now? Any fatigue setting in yet?
No, I'm having a good time.
I'm having a good time. I feel like it could come on soon.
Definitely not concerned with rhyme schemes.
No. Hey, Blood. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Pretty rough.
Not great. This might be my least favorite so far. The war. Attack and continue.
This is... All right, look. This is what happens, in my opinion, unless you're Elton John. It's the only exception. Where if the dude's singing, it's not writing it. Because you're right, it's all just cadence and pocketing. It's not... Yeah. He's not injecting any kind of meaningful character into the performance of the vocal. It's just, oh, like this, and then we fit it like this.
Right.
Take the breath and we survive.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's just kind of what you get, and like that's them. I don't even think they would argue with that, but I think
that's why
it's not a mystery why they're where they are in the Big Four, right?
Right.
I mean,
absolutely. And I also think that's why in this band you have to heavily rely on really, really kick-ass riffs, because that vocal style can get a little old because it's very, very monotonous, you know? Cause like, so to me, like, this verse riff is just okay. It's not amazing.
I'm not really that big on... To me, there's got to be more than just a cool riff, too.
I'm just saying, in the ingredients that Slayer has, that's the other thing that I think they have to rely on.
Until our last day in Dayton, Ohio, next summer.
The last three songs have ended so abruptly.
Well, this one's called Atrocity Vendor. Hi, we're here to sell Atrocity.
Would you like to buy some atrocities today? Wow, this intro is... That part was... It did not sound like Slayer.
You're staring at the atrocity vendor, a fucking equal opportunity offender.
Ooh.
I've got the plan that's going to change the world. Stand back and watch the seeds of hate unfold. Whoa.
That's cool. Wow. Damn.
Can someone give one of these guys like a back rub, a tic tac,
Yeah, maybe some acupuncture.
maybe an ibuprofen?
Yeah. And by these guys, I mean Kerry King. I wonder if Kerry King's so in love with Slayer and everything he writes that if you honestly critique his lyrics with him, if he'd be like, no, that's good. Like, no, here's why I think this is bad, blah, blah, blah. Again, it's everyone's opinion, but I wonder if he thinks these are, like, just incredible.
I mean, I think he thinks they're good. But, you know,
I mean,
I wouldn't want to shit on his lyrics in front of him. I mean,
no.
He's making something. He's,
of course,
putting himself out there.
Sure.
I feel that way about Dave, too, man. I mean, I admire anyone who makes art.
Of course, yeah.
Now, I'm not going to pretend that this guy's Bob Dylan over here.
Or I guess maybe a more appropriate question would be if a producer in a studio asks him, hey, I think we should change that lyric, it's weird, or the phrasing where it's like, unfold. And I wonder if he's open to that kind of stuff because he kind of writes everything. Or if he's like, nope, that's how it is, sorry, hit record. I just don't know.
Well, maybe he has a deal with Tom, too, where it's like, Tom, put your magic on it. Put your Slayer thing on it.
Right, maybe so, yeah.
I'm going to write the dark poetry.
Right.
And you make it sound like Slayer.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so.
I've always been the kind of dude who writes a lot of different kinds of songs. I know you're like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to understand, like, because here's one of my overall feelings about the record. Every song sounds the fucking same.
It kind of does, yeah.
So what's it like to write that? How do they differentiate? All the songs are about the same: society's downfalls and violence,
blood,
and
death,
and yeah, I fucking can't stand you. I'm gonna kill you, and they all sound the same.
Right.
All the solos sound the same. There's a few interesting intros.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think the only strength after that is like a riff where you're like, oh shit, that's cool. As long as it's, sounding rad with the bass and drums, and like this verse right here to me is just like the same song.
This is called You Against You, which reminds me of a Project 86 song called Me Against Me.
Interesting. You do know my history with that band, right?
Not really.
No?
No.
I'll tell you after the show.
This is definitely the punkiest song on the album. LA punk from the early 80s. It's about somebody who's defeating himself without seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Kind of like the other song about drinking. Whoa. Space Invaders. It's like a video game right there. Shitty time to make a stand.
All without a master plan. You
Just
against
you.
you. Hindsight laughs at you.
I'm almost kind of surprised over the years maybe Tom didn't try to like write actual melodies and stuff. Or maybe he did, and Carrie's like, nope, do the Slayer thing.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But you know what? I mean, they've always been a successful band. They're not selling out arenas, but they can definitely draw a really good crowd, 5,000 to 10,000 people probably.
No way.
I mean, I saw them at War Memorial. What's that hold? Like 5,000?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
10 though?
Maybe in Europe, maybe a little more. I don't know.
Oh.
Wow, way less.
2,000.
2,000. Total capacity on the open floor.
Yeah, it's 2,000.
Is that including the balcony too, I guess?
Yeah.
Still, but man, I thought it was a lot more than that. Well, what's the Municipal Auditorium? That's probably 8,000. It's like a small arena. Almost
9,700.
Almost 10,000. Wow, okay. I mean, I think Slayer could do that if it was a really, really stacked lineup.
If it was their last night in Dayton.
Actually, last time they played here, it was, remember when you and I were going to try to go?
I thought that was Marathon.
No, it was at War Memorial.
Oh.
Or I'm sorry, it was at Municipal. It was them and Anthrax. And Testament, or who was that?
Yeah, it was Testament. Man, we should have gone.
We should have gone to that.
And I think Lamb of God.
Oh, man, we should have gone.
I know.
We recorded an episode that night, I remember.
I know. Oh, well.
You know what else I should have gone to was Alice in Chains last weekend.
Yeah, why didn't you go to that?
I don't know. I also realized after the fact that one of my friends, Aaron, is the drummer in Under Oath, and they were on that show, and I didn't even realize they were on the show until the next day. I could have just hit him up and been like, hey, dude, I just want to watch Alice in Chains and take off.
This is Pride in Prejudice.
Pride in Prejudice.
This song is about police corruption.
In society?
With violence.
And blood. That's a cool riff. A lot of detuned guitars on this record.
Yeah, are these detuned?
Definitely.
C sharp?
That's got to be C sharp or C. That's B.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what we did in Demon Hunter. We did drop B.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fun. So significant.
What?
Significance? Is that what he said?
I think he said significance.
I swear I heard significance. I see what he's saying. Emphasis on the fuck, though.
Da 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 boom.
Don't.
Da 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 dee da do. That's heavy.
Yeah.
What does that mean? All right.
Speak the truth through your own lies.
Just metal's filled with lyrics like that.
Yeah.
It just sounds cooler than it means anything, you know?
Yeah.
Fire burns with media hype. You speak the truth with your own lies, you dirty dog, you.
Maybe meaning that they are lying, but everyone believes them, so it then in turn becomes truth. I don't know.
I don't think they know. bullshit. It's cool.
I do like the word bullshit in songs.
I do too.
I like it better than fucking.
Well, yeah, they've said the word shitty a few times. Don't write shitty in a song.
Yeah, but bullshit's good.
Oh, check out this double kick. I love this drummer, man. This drummer's fun.
Yeah, I like him. This is one of my favorite songs so far.
I agree. Okay.
Oh, this is the last track.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I like this part.
It's my bedtime. The classic whammy bar feedback.
Whammy ending. Okay, well, there you have it. There's Repentless.
All right, let's do some final analysis here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it gets boring for sure. It definitely gets fucking boring.
I think the first, kind of like first third of the record, I was kind of like, okay, this is cool. Then it kind of went down into a bit of a valley, a little bit of a lull for me. Everything started to sound really the same.
Yeah.
Until that last track.
Yeah.
The last track was awesome.
Yeah, I think my vote's going to go to When the Stillness Comes and Pride and Prejudice.
I liked Repentless.
I like Take Control.
Pride and
also.
Prejudice. Yeah, Take Control is cool.
I think Seasons in the Abyss is a better record.
I think so too. Seasons in the Abyss, of all the Slayer records I have heard, that's still my favorite.
You know what's going to be fun too is like once we get a lot more under our belts, we're going to be able to just really start to orient these and like, you know, for me, having never really heard him on The Living or Sound of White Noise, I can kind of tell I'm going to be more of a Joey Belladonna guy.
Right.
Even though I love John Bush.
Yeah.
With these two records, definitely Seasons in the Abyss. With the two Megadeths, I'm going Countdown.
Countdown, okay.
So
interesting where you're kind of going because like I would have expected you to be more of a John Bush guy, but I was incorrect. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, the other way around. With Megadeth, I thought, okay, Clint's going to dig. I thought you would. No, I think I was accurate on that. I think I knew you would be more into the groovier stuff rather than Rest in Peace.
yeah, well, because Countdown's more their Black album, right?
Yeah, I'd say that. And Euthanasia, the next one, are kind of more there when they've slowed things down.
I'm excited to listen to Risk because
It's so bad.
But
you'll probably love it.
I tend to, and I'm not even being contrarian. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I tend to just sort of like more left of center stuff. And the reason that I dislike I liked that John Bush record. I did.
Sure.
The reason I prefer Among the Living is it felt sillier to me, and I liked that. About
It's more Anthrax. It's
exactly.
more just like quintessential Anthrax,
like that Not Man shit. I love that.
Not.
You know.
Yeah.
What else can we say about this? With Slayer, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting which it's like
they're brutal. It's I think if I was like, dude, after listening to an hour of that, I feel kind of pummeled. I think they'd be like, hell yeah, mission accomplished.
Yeah, we fucking killed you. Yeah, we want to give you fatigue. I mean, and seeing them live is kind of similar too. When me and Jack went to their shows, probably 4 or 5 years ago, it was Carcass, Testament, and Slayer. Mm-hmm. Carcass was fucking awesome. I never knew much of their stuff, but Jack was a fan of Carcass. Testament was fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. I thought they stole the show, but Slayer they played for probably an hour and a half. I mean, dude, after an hour, I think we actually left a little early. I was like, dude, I'm fucking tired. I thankfully had earplugs with me because it was so damn loud.
Yeah.
It's a loud room, and they're obviously a loud band. But, yeah, I mean, my final kind of thoughts on this record and Slayer alone is, like, this is why they're not, like, my favorite of the big four. Even, they're my least favorite of the big four. That doesn't mean I don't like them. I still love this band, but I can't put on a couple Slayer records in a row. You know what I can do in a row? Listen to Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Justice, and the Black Album. I could keep going with those.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to Metallica every day almost my entire life.
Right, exactly. I can mildly do that with Anthrax. I could do a 2 or 3 records in a row. But
I think Slayer's still my number 2, just because it really is brutal shit. I mean,
it really, absolutely.
And the evil side of it that I kind of put in a silly column, I like.
Sure, yeah.
But I could see a case for, as I get more into Anthrax, that moving up to number 2.
Okay.
Megadeth's number 4 for me.
I think that if we do the most recent Anthrax record, which I haven't dipped into a ton.
What's it called? For All Kings?
For All Kings.
Weird title.
And I think I can't wait sometime in the future, whenever we do it, for you to listen to State of Euphoria.
In the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
You can't wait for us to listen to Dystopia?
No, State of Euphoria.
Oh, State of Euphoria.
That's the Anthrax record that came out after Among the Living.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's awesome. It's a great record.
I will say this, I know we're kind of circling back to this Rust in Peace talk. The whole, it's their justice, their injustice for all.
Mm-hmm.
I take issue with that because they're because it's so complicated. It was riff heavy and complicated,
Sure.
Cool. I don't think this record was that much less complicated than Rust in Peace in terms of fast, great riffs.
Yeah, fast, great riffs for sure. I think I understand the technicality part of it on Rust in Peace, where it's technically just, and a lot of that was Marty Freeman, and his leads and stuff like that. But I kind of say that in relation to Injustice for All, only because of kind of the time frame.
Okay,
it was as both bands were making their records and going through changes and lineup changes and style changes, they kind of. Justice came out, and then Rust in Peace came out, and then the next 2 records were more chill and laid back and less thrashy. It was a Black Album, Countdown to Extinction. Megadeth was always about 2 years behind as far as the release, though.
I do find it interesting that Metallica's one time that they worked with Rick Rubin is their most Slayer sounding record.
It's their most Slayer sounding record. It's
and even lyrically, James is writing. The lyrics are still more personal and better, and the songs are better.
Right,
but it does have more of that short couplet. Metal cliche type. Can't stop the warring factions, the soldier society, blood and violence, and then the speed metal of All Nightmare Long feels very Slayer to me.
There's a bunch of that stuff on there for sure. I'm sure they had that. Certain times they had that in mind. Rick's working on every Slayer record at that point. Because that was before this came out. But yeah. I love Slayer. They're awesome.
They are awesome.
If they came to town again, which I don't know if they will. I guess they already did the farewell tour here. That was
who knows?
17 years ago. But God, I would go see him again. I enjoyed the show I saw. Yeah, I did leave early, but I was just fucking beat. It is literally a brutal show.
I'm going to give Repentless a 6 out of 10.
I'm going to do, I'd probably do the same, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a record that I could revisit every once in a while. But I can't imagine putting it on.
What do you
all
give
the time.
Rust in Peace out of 10?
Rust in Peace out of 10, I get for me I would honestly do an 8.5 because only because the longevity, man.
Yeah.
That record's just ingrained inside of me. I acknowledge that there's some really bad lyrics on there and stuff like that. But it's been in my life so long that I can look past it, I guess. It's to me it's kind of like coming around to songs on Saint Anger. I can now kind of get, or Death Magnetic. Death Magnetic production is not good. You know, it was mixed too loud. When it was mastered, it crackled, and it was audio nightmare. But I think I love that band so much, and I've now listened to that record for that came out not 11 years ago, and where I can kind of get past it now because I can hear the song, I hear the songwriting, and hear the lyrics, and other things I think kind of cast a shadow over maybe some faults of a certain record, but.
Okay, well, I guess we should maybe wrap it up. I got to go pick up my daughter.
You might want to go do that, especially on her first day in kindergarten.
Well, thanks everyone for hanging in there with us. This is basically, we got our vacations coming up. But,
we do.
But really,
it should be one more official episode before we go on vacation.
Yeah, we'll do one more official episode, then we'll load you up with whatever bonus content we figure out. And then starting in the fall, we're going to be able to kind of be a little more normal, a little more back to normal.
Yeah, totally.
And we're going to be able to, we've got all these guests lined up, but we just have not been able to book it. It's hard enough to get me and you in a room.
Your schedule's been crazy over the summer, so
once that all clears up in the fall, we're going to be able to really hunker down.
Absolutely.
And I know that everyone in Australia and New Zealand is looking forward to the boys coming out there. We're going to have Jay Weinberg back on after that to talk about that tour.
Yeah, totally.
So things are good over in Metal Up Your Podcast land.
Yeah, we're trucking along.
I'm gonna make some time this week and go find 5 or 6 cool things in the garage to give away to patrons this month.
Super cool.
Cover Our World Blackened Volume 3 is available for patrons. Go sign up. Go be a part of what's cool about the show.
Yeah, it's fun.
Who knows how much longer the show's going to last? Maybe a year, maybe a little less. We've been sort of having some preliminary conversations about what life beyond Metal Up Your Podcast might look like.
Right.
And that's been kind of exciting to think about. But in the meantime, at least get on board and get involved with it while it's still rocking, right?
I love you just basically threw a gas can in a fire pit and walked away. That's nothing official, by the way. We don't know We don't know what's going on.
We don't know what's happening.
We just like to discuss the future.
Go leave us with a review if you got a second. It's real easy. Come have fun with us on the socials. Anything else we should say?
Just go have fun, guys. Oh my God.
Just have fun in your lives.
Oh my God. You know how much fun it is just to have fun?
It's super fun.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
All right, well, we'll see you on the flip-flop. Peace.
Adios.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.